Siwmai, a chroeso i bodlediad Profiad y Dysgwr Coleg Oer Abertawe. Welcome to the Gower College Swansea Learner Experience Pod.
Before we continue, please subscribe and like the pod, as this will help us to grow and mean you'll never miss an episode.
Hello and welcome to the 2023-24 Student Union President Candidate Q&A session this afternoon. I'm Josh, the Learner Engagement and Personal Development Lead here at the college, and we've got a live audience behind us. Give us a wave and a hello. Go on there, here. Yeah. So we've got learners here. I know you guys are tuning in live on YouTube as well, so we've got lots to get through, so I'll try and get through this as quickly as possible. So the format for today, we've got 5 candidates. I'll introduce them all in a second, and then what we're going to do is ask each of them a question. Each person will have a minute to answer their question, and then we'll move on to the next person. 10 questions, 1 minute each. Hopefully we'll get home in time for the buses, otherwise the audience might leave. So first of all, what I'm going to do is introduce our first candidate. So Shiloh, if you could make your way up to the podium.
Hello, my name is Shiloh. I'm studying engineering, and I'm a candidate for the Student Union President for 2023 to 2024.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Shiloh. Fatima, if you come up and just introduce yourself for the cameras.
Hi, I'm Fatima. Some people may know me as Leah. I study politics, sociology and media, and I'm currently LGBTQ officer for the Student Union, and I'm going for Student Union President 2023 to 2024.
Perfect. Sunny, if you'd like to come up.
Hi, my name is Sunny. I am studying engineering and I am running for the Student Union President 2023 to 2024.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Jamil?
Hello everybody, Shmai. My name is Jamil Ahmed. I am the current student president for you guys, and I was a current student here from 2020 till 2022, and I'm here to re-elect once again as your student president. Deal.
Thank you very much. And Reese, if you'd like to come up.
Siwmai, fy enw I yw Rhys, ac y prynawn yma, I am campaigning for Student Union President. You might know me as Rhys or Cadno. I have made 2 radio shows. I am also part of the debate club and the environmental club, and I promise to bring a lot more to our college if you vote me.
Perfect, thank you very much. So we've met all of our candidates, so we're going to start off with the questions. So Shiloh, if you'd like to come up. And the first question is based around manifestos. So the first question is, what are the key parts of your manifesto?
So my first main point is environmentalism. I believe that promoting environmentally friendly lifestyle should be an integral part of the college and a college experience. So I'm proposing the creation of environmental awareness program that will educate students on to reduce availability waste, promote recycling and other environmentally friendly practices. I'm hoping to introduce this through the tutorial program, so we can all lead to a better Earth. My second point now is is transportation availability, because I understand many students rely on the bus system to get to and from college, and especially they who work at late hours or might want to travel on the weekends for work. So I understand that strictly Gosainon students cannot travel past 6 p.m. and on the weekends. So I'm hoping on changing that so Gosainon students can travel whenever they want. My third point is there's issues against discrimination on the LGBT, particularly against transgender students as well. Because one of my friends went through some transphobic incident, went and asked for a teacher for advice, and nothing was really gained out of it. He looked at the policy on what can be done, and there was apparently not much there. So I'm hoping on adding onto the policy on what to do when someone, especially in the LGBT were to be hate crimed.
Perfect, thank you very much. So, on to Fatima, if you'd like to come up. And I'll repeat the question for you. So what are the key parts of your manifesto?
In my manifesto, I've outlined 3 main parts and things I want to work on if I do get elected. First is sex education. Since, I don't know about anyone else's experience, but from comp, we didn't get very good sex education, and I know some pupils didn't get it at all. And I feel like we're getting to this age where there's important information that we need to know because of large misinformation in the internet, and misinformation can lead to harmful situations. So I'm hoping to bring in workshops, or maybe through tutorial, and inclusive sex education, which covers queer sex, safety, myths about sex, and just what the students want to know. So my third point are events. I think the college does a few fun things here and there. I know me personally, I've hosted queer cinema days, but I'm hoping that if I get elected student union president, I'll be able to create more events to have an engaging college environment, and not just within Gorside and campus, but within Clwyn Bryn, T-Corp. Some of my ideas were stuff like, fall festivals. So things that can be themed around holidays, for example, Halloween. We could do a costume swap, we can do bake sales, just stuff that the students can really engage in. And then the third one is how the college can help with the cost of living crisis, specifically for students. And I don't really know the full capabilities of the student union president role, but hopefully if I do get it, I'm able to work with who is in charge of stuff like foods and costs, and see how maybe we can lower that or work around it, or say for food, introduce stuff like meal deals, etc. And another idea was for if students can't cover trips, how the college can maybe help pay towards that. Yeah, those are my 3 main points, but obviously if I do get elected, there's other stuff I want to look at, and hopefully with student input, I'm able to do that. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you very much. Sunny, over to you. So again, what are the key parts of your manifesto?
My key part of the manifesto is I would like to improve the living cost by increasing the EMA, as I've heard from numerous students that the EMA is not enough for them. So I would work with the student ambassadors or the student admission and work with the people who would be in charge of that, and see if we can increase the EMA for them. And my second point is that I was talking to someone yesterday, and I found out that they don't want to work for me due to diversity or due to the country I came from. I want to change that. I want to make sure that the college knows and doesn't have discrimination against people's religion, race, sexuality, where they're from, their background. I want to change that. I want to make it so everybody is one society instead of different. My third point is that I want to improve the campus, like activities. For example, in Tycott, there's nothing to do at break or lunch as we have no activities. We used to have an Xbox, but it's dead, so I want to see if I can make it more fun for people.
Perfect, thank you very much. Over to Jamil. And I'll repeat the question again, Jamil, for you. So what are the key parts of your manifesto?
Okay, before I begin, I want to appreciate the fantastic diversity this year in this student president of all main backgrounds. So my aim this year is to include student health and safety. Here at Gower College, we've got 4,500 full-time students and 10,000 part-time learners. And as we have diversity in our college, we want to make sure that we have the best safety for them. And being an inclusive college, we attain and learn empathy to one another. And I want to teach students about empathy and sympathy, and I want to help support students by having online guidance, face-to-face guidance for students who experience harassment, racism, homophobia, or any form of discrimination in college. I also want to focus on clubs and societies. Now I know that clubs and societies, no one is quite sure how to start theirs and the knowledge of it, and I want to be that person to help book rooms for these students. I'm just continuing the work that I've been doing with clubs and societies this year. I want to continue the awareness for our student union. We did a fantastic job this year. Our applicants went from 20 to 60 applicants this year, which is amazing, but there is more work to do, especially with Clwyn Bryn and Jubilee Court. We need to make sure that our SU is the best SU in Wales, and just continuing and moving forward with the Learner Voice that we do. I also want to continue the environmental sustainability of the work that we do. with the Environmental Club, and to also continue supporting the Welsh culture, because I've learned lots about this year at my time as student president about the importance of environmental sustainability and the Welsh culture. And with the EMA, it has been a news that it's went from £30 to £40, but when I become re-elected, I want to help support students to see what they think about it. Lastly, the new asylum bill, where in July after exam season there is going to be demolitions done and things like that. So I just want to support students for that in Gosailen, if anyone has any suggestions for a new bill and things like that. So that is all my part of this question. Diolch.
Lovely, thank you. And over to you, Rhys. So I'll repeat the question for you again as well. So what are the key parts of your manifesto?
One key part of my manifesto, which everyone else has addressed but not brought to reality, is the fact that our school is ripping us off when it comes to the cost of living. Look at a candy bar, a simple Kinder bar. You see that something that usually costs 10 pence or 20 pence in a convenience store costs as much as £1.20. That's nearly 5 times as much money. Think about it. If the college is willing to rip you off £1 for a candy bar, think about the kind of things they'd rip you off of water or basic food. In addition to that, £40 EMA, that's only a £10 increase. That isn't a lot. Our college isn't doing enough for Welsh people either. When you consider that the Welsh language has become more popular and we've changed the name of Brecon Beacons to Banau Brycheiniog, and when you consider that Coleg Sir Gar in Carmarthenshire only has one Welsh name, you have to wonder, why do we have English names if everyone understands them? And my third policy is supporting student clubs. We need to get rid of the red tape. I tried to start up a student club for culture, and we had so much red tape, it took months of meetings, discussions about strategy on how to open it up. We didn't even open it up. So when I'm voted in, I'm going to cut the red tape, let students take reins of the college, get cheaper food by cutting down the profit margins, and I'm going to support the Welsh language.
Perfect, thank you very much. Have a round of applause for everybody there, because that was very well done. So we're going to move on to the second round of questions this time. So we're going to get Jamil up first. So Jamil, if you'd like to come up to the stand, please.
I love the cowboy hat.
So with these, because the last ones I should explain to everybody, because the last ones were around your manifesto, I let you guys run over a little bit, so a few of them were over a minute long, but this time I'll try and keep it to a minute. So I'll set the timer on here. I'll then be able to, if you go over, I'll start giving you a 5-second countdown, okay? So don't panic when you see the 5, but just finish the end of your sentence. I'm not going to stop you when you get to 0, okay? But just the 5-second counter. So, what relevant experience do you have that makes you the right person for the job?
So, of course, I have been elected as student president since last year, and with my experience, I've learnt behind the scenes of my job for you guys as a student president. It's opened my eyes to the amount of differences and the amount of change Learner Voice does for us as learners at the college. And from my experience, I believe that as the student president, I believe I'm the obvious choice, because I've learnt who to speak to, who do I talk to if there's a question or query students have, for example. And I also believe that I have the experience, because I'm here with my manifesto to continue the positive work that I've been doing as a student president, be it environmental sustainability, be it club societies, be it supporting the learner enrichment team, like people like Josh, people like Jess, people like Marcus and Haley and everyone as such. And just like, I believe that with my hard work, with my creativity, and with my overall ambition and just the overall collection to the whole thing about learning experience, I just want to make sure that, you know, I have the experience and I'm here with the most experience and I know what's going on with the job, so that's what I'm doing.
Perfect, thank you Jamil, just within the minute. So if you'd like to go on through, and Sunny, you're up next, okay? I'll repeat the question for you when you're up there and ready. So what relevant experience do you have that makes you the right person for the job?
I was part of the ambassadors of of Thai Coach campus, meaning I've been helping with the events, helping the teachers out, for example, open day, staff training and all that. I've been helping out in that, so I want to push it further into being a student union president and helping out people. I've worked with or seen the amount of people in that college that have not been treated rightly or have been bullied by other people. I want to change that. I want to make college much funner and safer for people. Like, I've seen people crying, people just being annoyed by other people. I want to change all that. I want to make sure that the college can be a place for everybody, not just a place for people to learn, people to like bunk and all that. I want to make it so people can enjoy their time in college and not like we can't be hours down left before they go home. I want to make it so they actually want to be there instead of them like want to bunk and all that.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Sunny. Who are we going to next? I don't know who's next. Fatima, if you'd like to come up.
I'll repeat the question again for you. So what relevant experience do you have that makes you the right person for the job?
I think my interest in student-based activities and clubs goes back to comp. Throughout year 7 to year 9, I was in student council, and then year 11, I got elected my comprehensives head girl. And I think it's my general interest in what the students want, and how I'm able to help and do that. And then within college, I ran the debate club this year. A few people here were in it. And I'm currently now, as I said, in the student union under LGBTQ officer role. And I've done a few queer cinema events. I've done a few stalls for Black History Month, the LGBTQ fundraisers. And I think my qualities make me a good fit for the job. I'm a good listener, I'm quite supportive, and I'm determined and organised. So I think with all that, I'd make a really good student union president if you'd vote for me. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Then Shiloh, if you'd like to come up. I'll repeat the question for you. So what relevant experience do you have that makes you the right person for the job?
Like Fatima there, I have run multiple clubs in college, specifically the Podcast Club and the Pride Coalition. And in addition to this, I've both last year and this year, I've been the class representative for my classes. That way, if my classmates have any concerns, they can bring it up to me, and I'll bring it to whoever it may concern. So I thought, why not leverage my position from class rep to student union president?
Perfect, thank you very much, Shiloh. And over to you, Reese. Again, I'll repeat the question for you. So what relevant experience do you have that makes you the right person for the job?
I don't think we need to look for experience for this, because if we're looking for experience, Jamil's going to win. But this job only has 2 terms, so when Jamil's gone, there'll be no one with experience, and we'll be in for a shock. So like Jamil, I say we need ambition. Like Sunny, I think we need good ideas. And like Fatima and Silo, we need people who are kind, supporting, and know their way around the college and have previous experiences from before taking the job. And I have all of those.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Reese.
Yeah, perfect. So we're going to move on to the next question. So Fatima, if you'd like to come up first this time, okay?
So we're rotating that order. And I should have said earlier as well, so the people that are in the room and people that are watching on YouTube, all of these questions have been sent in from students. We've had over 50 questions to try and pick through, so we've sort of picked up 10 best questions to ask you. So they've all come from learners, so that's a real positive. So Fatima, the next question, a bit of an open question. So what are the biggest challenges faced by our learners?
I think right now the obvious one is the cost of living crisis, which I've previously addressed. And I think, we're in a culture where we're openly speaking about mental health, and since we're students, that can be especially during this time of exams, mental health is a big issue that we need to be talking about and something the college needs to address. And I think we have a good student support office, but I think it can be improved. In ways that I was thinking to do that, just some examples on how we have the Engage app where we can click why we're not in. So say someone was taking a mental health day, that could be an option, and then you could have student support reach out to you, which I think is a big thing. And obviously diversity, discrimination, being a person of colour and a member of the LGBTQ community, I'd make sure that we look around support hubs on how to support anyone within those identities, and not just support things that they can celebrate, so like queer cinema, like Black History Month stalls, etc. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect, thank you very much. Reese, if you'd like to come up next. So I'll repeat the question for you. So what are the biggest challenges faced by our learners?
Okay, so the biggest challenges, as Fatima said, cost of living. We know that the college is ripping us off of our money. If we had a little more money, we probably wouldn't have problems with the cost of living crisis in our college. Another problem, discrimination. The fact that people can feel uncomfortable going to college every day because of their skin color, or because of their sexuality, or because of their gender even. That's pretty disgusting. And of course the student clubs. In fact, speaking of student clubs, where are all the student enterprises? If we had students enterprising, selling their own food from a variety of different cultures, we'd be more culturally enriched, and we'd be better fed. And along with that, there's a lot of bureaucracy we could cut out of making clubs, and we could just make clubs.
Perfect, thank you very much. Charlotte, over to you. I'll repeat the question for you. So what are the biggest challenges faced by our learners?
So already, I know this has been mentioned twice already, but the cost of living crisis, everything has skyrocketed in price. For example, I just looked at the, the vending machines. A bottle of Lucozade costs £3. In my local corner shop, it's £1. Additionally as well, discrimination like racism, homophobia, transphobia, ableism, etc. is bloody disgusting. I've experienced this all throughout comp, and it's gotten to the point where I didn't even want to turn up. I wanted to stay in my room all day, whatever. So I feel like that needs to be addressed as well. Additionally, I know a lot of our students going through homelessness or being threatened to be homeless. This can result in starvation, fear, violence, etc., etc. So I feel like that as well we should try to overcome.
Perfect, thank you. Jamil, over to you.
So in terms of modern problems I can think about at the moment, getting back to normal, we've been through a rough pandemic, a good story to tell my grandchildren, So the pandemic has caused lots of problems with well-being. Cost of living, I agree with the candidates as well, it's been a real big issue. I remember a student once quoting that we're living through the perfect storm right now, post-pandemic world, cost of living, and how prices have been affected by the war in Ukraine, which has affected lots of things for the prices. That's one of the issues. Another issue that I can think about is just generally the sort of there's also the idea of we're just trying to get back to normal as well, back to the spin of things really. In terms of liberation, like these guys mentioned, I also believe that new diversity was kind of looked down upon as well this year. Not saying that it was terrible in terms of the fantastic support that we get from the new diversity support, ILS, ALM and everything. It was really good. I just feel that in terms of the representation side of things, I feel that new diversity, especially someone who has autism himself, I also feel like we need to work on more new diversity this coming September. Thank you.
Perfect. Cheers. Thank you, Jamil. And then Sunny, if you'd like to come up. I'll repeat the question for you so you can have a little breather. So what are the biggest challenges faced by our learners?
The biggest challenges faced by our learners is that learners aren't having enough technology in society. Nowadays, in my campus I come from, which is Thai Court, I have been going around asking people what they want me to help with, and the technology. I have had numerous students complain about the computers and how slow they are. If I am elected, I will promise to upgrade all the computers, make the computers faster, make it so that the computers don't lag, make it so the computers work properly, make sure that no damage has it, make sure that all lessons are more fun than they are, make sure that there's more club society and more another whole course being added. As I have got told that they want biomechanics in as a course, I will make sure that will happen if I am elected.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Somebody's alarm's going off behind me. So, all right, it's taking a phone call. Perfect. Okay. So next question. So first one up this time is going to be Reese. So Reese, if you come up, and I'll ask you questions. So everybody has kind of alluded to it throughout the questions that they've answered. But how would you look to increase the amount of clubs and societies and opportunities for learners within college?
Well, for starters, I will make sure that there's nothing in the way. No advisors, no staff checking to approve the name of your club. Secondly, I am going to make a personal email when I get into office for people to send the clubs that they want to make, and I'm just going to make it for them. I'm going to do it all for them, and if they want to, well, I can also teach them how to make other clubs for other people, but I'm going to make sure that the clubs are able to be made before discussing. I'm going to make sure that the clubs are made. And that should be the answer for everyone. We shouldn't need to ask how to make clubs. We should already know. The fact that we're asking that is pretty embarrassing.
Thank you very much. Fatima, you're up next. So, how would you look to increase the amount of clubs, societies and opportunities for learners within college?
Well, going off what Ray said in terms of regulation, I think actually starting off with how I created a debate club, I think it needs to be a bit more clearer to learners that they are able to make clubs and how. I also, so when I did create the debate club, like Ray said in terms of regulations, I know there was a debate that I wanted to bring forward to the group, which was, is pornography harmful? And I think I got a certain message from a teacher saying that the debate topic was inappropriate, and personally I don't think it was, neither did the people within my debate club. So I think regulation between like club leaders and staff, like that's something that needs to be looked at. But I think more importantly is that the students need to be aware of these clubs. So I was thinking of timetables set up around college about when these clubs are starting, who's in charge, what time. And I also think there needs to be designated places for these clubs. Because I know when I did debate club, one of the biggest issues were club rooms were always changing. There wasn't one set room, so people didn't know where to go, and it really affected how many people turned up. So I think it's a whole system that needs to be looked at and like kind of started over in general, but focusing on awareness of the clubs, where these clubs are, how you can get them started, and who you need to talk to. Thank you.
So how would you look to increase the amount of clubs, societies and opportunities for learners within college?
I would like to start off by talking about the clubs. Some clubs have just been in Go Silent, so what I want to try and do is make it so that Go Silent and Tycoon can be used. For example, 1 week Go Silent, we have a club running, and then the 1 week in Go Silent is running, and then the second week it changes into a different campus, so it just doesn't feel like we're in one atmosphere. Like the atmosphere keeps changing as we go along the academic year. We keep changing the way it is and making sure that new clubs have been added. Like for example, some clubs have just been added and no one has ever showed up to them because they don't know if they're fun or not. I want to make sure when I'm elected is to hear the people's opinions, hear the voices of them, like hear what they want to say in clubs, and like make clubs fun for what they want, not clubs we have already decided. I want to hold like a poll to see what they want, and then I'll make the clubs happen. Instead, like previously, my two candidates have told, or one of my candidates have told they will remove all the tape that's been holding the clubs not be working, I would do the same, like tear down the barrier, like talking to teachers, to going to the meetings. I would make sure that there's none of that. If you want to make a club, you just make a club and go from there, instead of going to a whole system where you have to wait a couple of weeks, days, months for them to just approve it, and then you never be able to start it, and people just back down and join another club.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Sonny. Over to you, Jamil. So I'll repeat the question for you. So how would you look to increase the amount of clubs, societies and opportunities for learners within college?
Who likes gardening? Anybody? So I have a scheme that I want to begin, known as seeding societies. Now, I do feel on the methodology side of things that, we've had some creative clubs made this year, such as Dungeons and Dragons, we've had the Islamic Society continue, and things like that. So I want to sort of help societies begin, for example, in September, because September is like the gold mine for all things events. But then as you get slowly with time for exam season, that's all gone. So what I want to do at the start is something to do with getting new clubs sorted and clubs of different areas. Perhaps help students start up a chess club, for example. Help students start some kind of games club, for example, and things like that. So I want to help support clubs who, yes, we do have a lot of free thinkers, and creative thinkers for our societies. But the problem is that no one's exactly sure who to start it, and I want to help start these little clubs which want to get sorted. And also, I agree with the point Sonny mentioned about everything being Gassigning based. Most of our clubs are from Gassigning, and I want to help make sure that there is also a wave of clubs in Ticor, Llyn-y-Bryn, Jubilee Court, so they get a real essence of the benefit of club and societies, which is you improve your communication skills and your socialising skills as well. So, in short, I want to help society start again. I want to help create new societies if I was to be re-elected, and also defeat that idea of where, hey, every club is in Gassigning. So I want to help build clubs in Ticor, Llyn-y-Bryn, Jubilee, and from my experience as student president, I've been across all our campuses, so definitely I believe if I'm re-elected, I'll be able to make that happen.
Thank you very much.
Over to Shiloh, so I will repeat the question for you. So how would you look to increase the amount of clubs, societies and opportunities for learners within college?
Personally, I feel like there's no need to increase the amount of clubs because there are actually plenty of clubs available for students. So I feel like we should shift the focus onto how we can promote the clubs, because I don't feel like they're being promoted as well as they should be. Like, for example, most of the clubs, they only get a single post on the club's team page, which I'm going to be honest, I don't think anyone takes a look at that page. So I feel like we should put more posters all around campus, try to promote better. And additionally to what Sonny and Jamil said, it's only in Gassigning as well, so we should be looking to expand these clubs to all other campuses like Jubilee, Ticor, Llyn-y-Bryn and Skate Business as well.
Perfect, thank you very much. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. So Sonny, if you'd like to come up.
So again, it's one that people have already touched upon. So in what ways would you help to support students through the ongoing cost of living crisis?
The ongoing cost of living crisis have made people hate themselves, made people struggle in life because of the living cost crisis has increased. I would work with the government, with the student union to try and lower the cost of living instead of the way it is now. Make the canteen food as it has been touched by my fellow candidates to lower it. As for example, one water bottle costs $1.20. Outside it costs like 50p. I want to decrease the prices of lunches, like for cafeteria food, as they are overpriced. I would like to bring it down. I would like for more of the EMA and the money to increase, because £10 isn't enough for EMA. I would like to increase it to 50 because it will help the students out. And I would like to go and introduce a new scheme where we help people who need it. Like for example, if students can't pay their taxes, their student debts and all that, we would have a scheme where we can help them and then they just work it back for us.
Perfect, thank you very much, Sonny. Thank you. Shiloh?
So again, I'll repeat the question for you. So in what ways would you hope to support students with the ongoing cost of living crisis?
Sorry.
Sorry, take a second just while they're moving. Are you up, down? Down. Okay. Ready? When you're ready, Charlotte.
Okay, so one way I can help with this is that I know in this campus there's a food bank available. It's right next to the, the canteen, the office next to that. So I feel like we should really sort of promote that. And as well, I know, I forgot his name now. Sonny was saying about the EMA being, having more, pay more money as well. That should be implemented as well. But I feel like if we're going to go through a change like that, I feel like the wait between should be less. Because I'm on EMA, and since the whole £40 thing has been introduced, I have not seen light on my EMA at all. So, as well, try to cut down on the waiting as well. Additionally, one of my friends in college was asking about bringing food home from college in relation to, because of the food bank, many of the foods are like, microwaved or cooking. I know there are some students who don't even have access to that. So if there's a way to, get food that doesn't need like microwaving or oven, etc., that would also be brilliant.
Perfect, thank you very much. Jamil?
I'll ask you the question again. So in what ways would you hope to support students through the ongoing cost of living crisis?
To juxtapose the comment Charlotte made about our food banks, yes, so we do have ongoing support with our food banks. It's been really successful, of course. We've had our learning engagement officer Hayley help us, and of course we have our food bank over in T Cork. That is one of the ways that we've sort of started with the cost of living crisis, because we've got to really change our mindset, guys. This isn't the cost of living crisis, this is the cost of survival crisis, as was mentioned by the NUS. In terms of ways I could support, is that, yes, so the idea is that in ways that I want to support with cost of living, I want to help support these students by, yes, the food banks being one of them, but also having sort of coupons as well, and just finding them discount sort of codes as well, because cost of living isn't just affecting students in college, it's also affecting their lives outside of college as well, and sort of I want to promote sort of more sort of job opportunities for our students as well, and sort of finding jobs which are easy as well to help them get by as well. And sort of I'll be doing this by sort of trying to work with our Better Jobs, Better Futures, for example, to help them with the cost of living crisis. As I know they've done fantastic work over the cost of living crisis, especially in our Kingsway. And I just want to sort of make the cost of living crisis more meaningful to people who are well by, they're doing okay, they're doing fine, and just to change their perceptions of cost of living. That hey, cost of living, it's not cost of living right now. It's the cost of survival for lots of people, and like I mentioned earlier, Josh, it's the cost of living, it's the cost of survival crisis, and like we're living through the perfect storm right now. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jamil.
Ruth, over to you. I'll repeat the question for you. So in what ways would you hope to support students through the ongoing cost of living crisis?
When my mother, before moving to this country, was in America, she was living under the Reagan administration in inner city Buffalo, where the floors in her house were made of dirt and she didn't have a washing machine or dryer. She had to put out the clothes every day from the tall apartment buildings, which would regularly catch on fire and would have infighting on the streets from gangs. Reagan left us behind, and our college is leaving us behind. They're putting, unlike Reagan's administration, though we have all of the money, but we're putting it into useless vanity projects, such as making things as impossible to do for students. What if we took all of that money out and put it towards a welfare net that would actually give our students food to eat?
Okay, thank you very much, Reese. And Fatima, over to you. I'll repeat the question for you as well. So in what ways would you hope to support students through the ongoing cost of living crisis?
First of all, I want to be realistic in what I say I can achieve for the students, and I also think it's important to acknowledge that the cost of living crisis goes deeper than our college. Like, everyone outside our families are feeling the cost of living crisis with the prices. And I think, going back to what some of the candidates said, not to be nitpicky, but it's not just college prices that have gone up. Like, everyone likes to use the examples of Freddos, they're like £1. So when we really think about it, like, it's more holistic than what's going inside the college. And I think with I want to be able to talk to who I can about lowering the food prices, but I also think we need to think about stuff like wages, like the dinner ladies. The college has stuff to pay for, so I don't want to go around saying that I'm going to make like loads of significant changes. I'll talk to who I can, and hopefully that's something we can achieve. And I think it's great that the EMA has raised to £40, and hopefully, like Jamil has done this year, I can work with who I can to make sure that continues to increase to match the cost of living. But I think it's important to acknowledge people who no longer qualify for EMA. For example, last year I was on EMA, but my stepmom had to pick up a few extra shifts to cover the extra siblings that I have, and I have 3. But due to the cost of living crisis, we're still not matching what's going on. So basically, my main points are, I want to be realistic in what... my main points are, I want to be realistic in what I can achieve as a college student union president, and I want to work with the college organisations, and I want to look at how students can be helped outside of the EMA. Thank you.
Okay, so this time we're going to go in. Who's going? Jamil's up first. Jamil, if you come on up, I'll ask the questions. So then the next question is, if successful, what are your main priorities for the first half term in post?
So when I picture half term, I look at from September until December, from autumn to winter. So achievements I want to gain from the first term is things to do with our SUMG. Now, our SUMG has done a fantastic job this year, thanks to the help of all the staff members and all the members that have helped me throughout the application process. And just reading the applications and hearing how far these students have come as well, which is really nice. And like I mentioned, our applicants have went from 20 applicants to 60 applicants this year. It's really just creating a legacy that I'm looking for at that time, is to continue that. Now we want an SUMG which is bigger, better and stronger, and a lot more sort of to do with me getting more applicants this year as well. But not just more applicants, I'm looking for more quality and quantity as well for next year as well. I also picture environmental sustainability. Thanks to the Environmental Club, I've been totally inspired to, help with the little pick walks that they've done with our biology lecturer, Stuart, for example. I've been really inspired by that, and I really want to sort of spread awareness about the environment and climate change and global warming as well, and perhaps make little pick walks more more communal, more for our college learners, and perhaps we could arrange big field trips, to Little Pick across Casino, over T Cork and Clonard and Jubilee as well, and things like that. So I do picture sort of maximising our SUMG and the environment as my 2 aims. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jamil. Perfect. Next one up is Fatima. Hang on, I've just got which question I've asked now. So, if successful, what are your main priorities for the first term in post?
I think awareness is going to be a big thing. I want a strong student union, government, and I think social media is going to be a good way to do that. I think personally we can do better than 176 followers on the student union Instagram account. Maybe starting a TikTok one too for more outreach. And I think Jamil, as being part of Student Union, mentioned that he wanted to set in place a programme where some Student Union officers will stay on and then they'll take on someone from the first year who's just come in, which I think will be really beneficial. And one of the points that I had while in Student Union is that each officer should get a pin board where we can put up our manifestos, events that we're going to do, just general awareness. And I also want to make sure the transition for AS students goes as smoothly as it can. I want fun events, but I also want, this kind of ties in with the cost of living. I was thinking we could do stuff like stalls where the college can give in supplies that we'll need, like binders, like packs, stuff like that. Yeah, I think.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Reece, is that next? So, if successful, what are your main priorities for the first half term in post?
Well, when I'm in office, everyone's going to see what they are, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a overview of what they might be. In our college, we don't really have a lot of a civil society. No one really knows what clubs there are. How many of you even know there's a literary magazine? Put your hands up. 1 or 2 people. That is rather disappointing. What I want to see is student-made media first and foremost. Our magazine should be promoted a lot more. In fact, we should have more than one magazine. I'm going to make sure that our magazines are available in the print format because no one really looks online for stuff related to our college. And I'm also going to promise a student-made radio that will be hosted by the students and have music from them. Student-made television with all of the television and movies that are related to our curricula, but also stuff of general interest, popular TV shows or popular cartoons. In addition to that, a lot of my candidates are looking pretty far into the future to things that will be done during over break, but I want to make sure that we are able to see these things. Advertising boards for clubs, you got it. We should even have permission to make advertisements for anything we want, whether it's student enterprise or outside of Gower College Swansea. Let's make Gower College Swansea a community.
Lovely, thank you very much, Reece. Sunny, over to you.
So I'll repeat the question again. So, if successful, what are the main priorities for the first half term in the post?
So the first term post, if I am in post, I'll give you a taste into what I would do. For the first half term, I would make the civil, like my fellow candidates have gone, like the civil rights and the civil way that people have, like for example, people new to this college, they don't know anything, they don't know anybody. I want to make it so where we can do a meet and greet, where we can all meet in one place, speak to each other, make new friends, and that, for example, I came in this college a year ago in September, and I had to welcome calmly and smoothly. I would rather make it so the transition from the school, college, or A-level smoother than it is. Instead of you have to wait 1 week or 1 month for going into meeting your teacher, your students, I would rather make it so as soon as you know where you're going to go, you can have a whole day just to meet them, like tasters on your next course. Instead of the courses, for example, if I'm elected, exams are the main thing I would look to do. For example, to pass an exam, you have to get 60. I would lower that to 50, and some people can't pass it. I'll make it so that's accessible for everyone, not just for the people who are studying really great, for the people who are the more disability that can't say that well. I would make it so that everyone can pass instead of having the high hopes for only people who are good at learning.
Perfect, thank you very much, Sunny.
And Shiloh, over to you. I'll repeat the question for you as well.
Yeah, go on.
So, if successful, what are your main priorities for the first half term in post?
So for my first half term, I would like to, again, promote all the clubs so people can, gather, meet each other, make new friends, etc. Because I know what Sonny was saying about all, people don't really know each other. Therefore, we need some time in the, first week or so. But technically, we already do this. It's, the induction day. I had one when I joined in September 2021. Not sure if they're still doing it or in any other campuses, but if not, I probably also add this on as well. I have no idea, but yeah, promotion of clubs.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So, move on to the next question, which way are we starting? Oh, showing back up again, so I won't even need to share the screen. So, nice broad one for everybody. Hopefully some good answers to come from this one. So what events do you plan on running next year?
So one event I had in mind, I've had it since about last year, is this thing called Culture Day. It's a day for many of our students from diverse backgrounds to come in sort of more their cultural outfits, try to sell food from their own cultures and so on and so forth. Another way, sorry, what was the question again?
So what events do you plan on running next year?
Yes, another event I can plan was more Pride events, because I know Fatima Leah has been doing our Pride Cinema Day, but I feel like we can also add on to this because I know on June is Pride Month. So I feel like with what do you call it? Rainbow Day. I feel like we should expand on that, but for the whole month of June, so our queer students can come in, celebrate their sexuality side of their personality.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Sunny, over to you.
I'll repeat the question for you. So what events do you plan on running next year?
I am planning on running as my fellow candidate said, the Pride Month. Instead of the one day of Rainbow Day, I would want to increase it to a couple of days or weeks. Like for example, a lead up to a week, like competition for Pride Month, for example, gaming. As we can all know, there's an esports team. I want to make it so that there are more like games they play, like for example, tournaments they hold in our college just for our college people, for example, Rocket League, Hollow Rising, Valorant are the only games. I want to host a Fortnite game, Fortnite tournament, where all the people that are good in Fortnite come together and we celebrate something and we have a competition, there's a prize at the end. For example, gaming is not just about Valorant and just about esports people. It's about how people act together and all that. Games bring people together. So if we have more games, for example, a couple of events I had in plan is that we had a VR set in our college where we just have a whole day where we are in VR, and then we just talk to each other instead of the way that we speak online, and people just discriminate against each other. So that would help people speak together.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Sunny.
So, what events do you plan on running next year?
Events, planning, running. What is this? A central planning system like the Soviet Union? My platform is working on decentralization. All of the events should be run by the individuals. In fact, why plan events when we can have an event every day? Someone's going to be working on something and someone's going to suggest it, and it's going to be out there in no time. Pride Month, why not have Pride every week? Video gaming tournaments, why not have one every month or week? We can do any of this whenever we want. All you need to do is ask me. I'll say yes, obviously, and we'll just put up some posters and advertisements on our televisions. We have planned advertisements for the library support, etc. But what we really want to see is what events are coming up in this college.
Lovely, thank you very much, Reece. Jamil?
I'll repeat the question for you. So what events do you plan on running next year?
Firstly, I love the lovely ideas, the amazing ideas that we all have in terms of events that we're all planning for next year. But one thing I did have is to celebrate equality in general. I believe, a day or a week or a month even, or perhaps on different days throughout the calendar, we celebrate equality in general, be it race, be it gender, be it ethnicity, be it orientation, be it disability. I'd like to see an event or a longer event where we celebrate equality in all paths, in all walks of life. And another thing as well, I would like to also create an events calendar for students, like you know, we've had some nice and wacky sort of nice event days. For example, we've had like a National Chocolate Day over in Seacork, like a National Popcorn Day, if you guys didn't know that existed. And just like a nice events calendar where we have all these nice ideas and things like from our SUMG, our class reps, you guys, everybody can sort of make suggestions to me, myself, and you know our team. Sort of a nice events calendar where from September until exam season we have a nice events calendar of different and unique days. And so with that, I also think that if we do have an Equality Day in general, or Equality Week in general, that would be a nice idea. But also having like a nice, wacky and cool and funny events calendar where we have these nice and unique events taking place as well, which I do feel would be a nice idea, especially planning in advance. So that's the ideas in terms of events.
Thank you very much, Jamil. And Fatima?
So I'll repeat the question for you again. So what events do you plan on running next year?
First, I'd like to make sure I ask all the students what type of events they'd like to see, send out forums, questionnaires, etc. And then all the events that we already do, such like Queer Cinema Day, stuff around Pride, Black History Month, all the events we basically already celebrate. And then I'd like to see more general events going on, and my idea was to break it up into like fall, winter, spring, summer, and then we have things like around that. So I've touched on fall, so like Halloween and stuff. We could have costume swaps, we could do like, I don't know, bake sales, stuff like that, fun stuff that can happen all year round. And then we'll do the same thing for winter, Christmas themed, and just kind of like do that and have like a nice, just something going on every day for the students. And then specific things for, I think, clubs and societies, they can contribute. I feel like if we give them, or if they set out like a kind of agenda, then they can have like an event, a term, etc., or even A-level classes, what events would maybe cater to their learning. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you very much.
So we're down to our last two questions. We'll be happy to hear. So which way will we start in? Oh, Fatima, back up again. So let me change that. So, what's your plans to boost environmental and sustainability within the college?
That's a good one. I'd like to do more of what we already do. So I think my politics teacher, Val, and some other students were in charge of like students bring in clothes and they do like a sort of second-hand sale going on. And my other politics teacher mentioned that the college does planting, like you guys planted a few trees and stuff. And I think if we don't already have that with the new bills coming in, a garden would be pretty good. It'd be a nice thing that all the students can get involved in. And some of the basic things that we have every day, like, which would also help with the cost of living, kind of, is we obviously all go get coffees, hot chocolates with little paper cups. I'm thinking that if we have an incentive to use reusable cups, for example, free coffee if you bring your own cup, these are just small things I think that we could do. And I think if I get this role, I'll be able to talk to the people who know a bit more than me. So like Kai and Lars, who run the environmental group, if you don't know them, they're the student union officers for that specific area. And I can get bigger ideas on how the college can do what they can to help. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jamil, I'll repeat the question for you. So what's your plans to boost environmental and sustainability within the college?
Funny story, when I started my job as student president, I was absolutely lost of where I should start with environmental sustainability. Somebody who studied geography might be surprising, but no, Hillel was giving me a punch in the face that I'm not a sciencey guy or someone who's an expert in the environment. But what I do know is that simply we are messing around with climate change right now. We are messing around with global warming right now. We're not doing a good job. I can clearly see it. Just continuing, really, of the sort of the legacy that sort of, like Pat was mentioned, Kai and Moss, the fantastic work that I've helped for them to do things like green fairs, by introducing environmental charities come in, do a few talks about global warming, climate change, spreading awareness, clothes swaps, but also, like I mentioned earlier today, sort of making more field trip-based things for our students. Students who are interested to help around litter picking, or simply having guest speakers to talk about the environment as well. Perhaps on a specific, perhaps having an entire day, as an event for our environment, spreading awareness. So, things like that. I want to continue the fantastic work that we've done, but also Planet Earth Games as well has been an achievement that we've done this year. Our college taking part in that. I want to really maximise what we're doing as a college for Planet Earth Games, which is a UK-wide competition for making the country a more eco-friendly environment and things like that. So I do want to continue the work that we are doing right now for environmental sustainability. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jamil. Shiloh, you're up.
So I'll repeat the question for you. So what's your plans to boost environmental and sustainability within the college?
So, like I said very early on, I was planning on promoting environmentalism in the tutorial program, with such as recycling and cutting down on energy waste. But also, like what Fatima was saying about the incentive for free hot chocolate and coffee. The college used to sell these cups out of bamboo for tea and coffee and whatever. So I feel like we should definitely bring those back, but rather instead of also additionally selling the paper cups, we should make it so we can only have the bamboo cups we can use at all times as well. Additionally, no idea.
No worries.
Nothing's coming to my mind right now.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Charlotte.
Sonny, I'll repeat the question for you. So what's your plans to boost environmental and sustainability within the college?
The environment is a big part. As we can all understand that global warming is increasing every day by day. So what I want to do is increase the prices for boxes. For example, we have to pay for boxes. I want to make it so we don't have to do that. So we can keep reusing a box, making it so we have a container which they sell, and then you can keep reusing it. You bring your own container to college and you can use that to save the money and effort and time instead of buying them in the college. And as scientists have said, that that's all I can say.
No worries. Thank you very much, Sonny. And Reece, over to you.
I'll repeat the question for you. So what's your plans to boost environmental and sustainability within the college?
I think we have a few things we can do that our college isn't doing yet, and it's unfortunate. There's quite a few campuses which could do with a bit more bike accessibility. Some of you may know that about between a fifth and a quarter of carbon emissions in the road comes from transport. Well, we need more public transport for starters, more buses for our college, but we also need bike lanes. There aren't enough bike lanes in T-Koch. I've been to T-Koch, and I've seen there's just a big open space, and there's maybe one or two bus stops, and it's just car lanes everywhere else. That is pretty embarrassing and bad for our record. In the city centre, we have a Kingsbridge campus, which has no bike lanes at all. People are expected to just walk and cycle together. I've nearly been hit by a bicycle because there weren't any segregated bike lanes. So I say we work with the council to make more bike lanes. We also work with them to add some more zebra crossings on different campuses, because in this campus, I've seen people almost get hit by cars because there's nowhere to cross from the opposite side to the other side. And that is, well, amongst other things, there's also having more sustainable equipment. In our college, I've seen us switch from reusable packaging to non-reusable packaging. What was in our college's mind when they were doing that? We should be sticking with reusable packaging, going with more sustainable companies for our food and for our general supply chains, and we shouldn't be walking backwards on our progress.
Lovely, thank you very much, Reece.
Thank you everyone.
Okay, so you'll be happy to know, candidates, this is the last question. So you've made it this far, you've answered 9 successfully. Jamil, you're up first.
So, how do you plan on making the student union fully visible and active on all college campuses?
Okay, So, the fantastic work that I have mentioned earlier today of how we managed to maximise the student management applicants from 20 to 50 applicants has been phenomenal. A big issue that I've seen is that most of the applicants are from Gosainon, so I really want to maximise our applicants from T-Cork, Plymouth. We did get candidates from T-Cork and Plymouth, but the issue was that it wasn't as proportionate as Gosainon and as we've seen. The history of the student union is that a lot of things happen in Gosainon with everything that we've done, and I really want to maximise what we're doing with the student union right now, especially in T-Cork and Plymouth, because my job isn't just Gosainon, guys. It's every campus. It is the 4,500 students or whatever value of students we have, number of value we have of students. It's all about having the student voice around in every campus, and I do believe that from September and throughout the summer, I want to sort of continue sort of my knowledge on these different campuses, because yes, I'll admit, as somebody who has spent in Gosainon, I have known lots about this campus. I know my way around here. But you know, T-Cork, I've just been learning around my place around T-Cork and other campuses. So it's really just maximising them through support and guidance and tutorials. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jamil.
I'll repeat the question for you. So how do you plan on making the Students' Union fully visible and active on all college campuses?
Again, promotion. Most of our applicants, like Jamil said, are from Gosainon. But where are, let's say, our Skeggy business applicants? Where are the Jubilee Court candidates? They're just not there. Why do you think that is? It's either they're disinterested, probably not, but also because of the lack of promotion that is going on. And additionally as well, sorry, my mind is going off.
No
right
worries.
now. It's all over the place.
That was a good answer. That's
Sorry.
absolutely fine. No worries at all. So, how do you plan on making the Students' Union fully visible and active on all college campuses?
Well, the first thing is the obvious thing which my other candidates have said earlier. None of the campuses outside of Gosainon is involved enough in the student body. The only non-Gosainon candidate here is Sunny, and that is pretty upsetting because he doesn't have any advertisements on this campus, and I assume none of us, except for me, has put up advertisements outside of their own local campus, which is very unfortunate. We need to work more on making ourselves more visible, and we need to remember that Gosainon is not the centre of the college. It isn't. Sure, it was the college that merged with the rest of the conglomerate, the rest of the group of colleges, but it isn't the only campus. In addition to that, what do people even think about our student body? Do they think of it as a group that works for the best of them, or do they think of it as some other sort of quango of our college? We need to make sure that people know that the student body actually counts them in.
Lovely, thank you very much, I'll repeat the question for you. So how do you plan on making the Students' Union fully visible and active on all college campuses?
As previously mentioned, outreach. I want to make sure people in all campuses know about these positions going. And I did actually go to Llwynarbryn campus to set up posters and talk to people. And like Ray said, some of them didn't even know that we had a student union, which I think is pretty telling. But as Jamil said, I'd also like to get an equal share of the roles across all campuses. And not only that, but if I am student union president, I'd like to make sure that if I'm dividing my time between all these campuses, that the officers in each are supported enough and know enough to be able to do their role efficiently when I'm not there. So I think it's equipping them with what they need and making them stronger in their role so that they're able to work independently in their campuses, because at the end of the day, they know what's best for their own campuses, just as I'll know what's best for Gosainon, whereas, yeah. So thank you.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Lovely. So how do you plan on making the Students' Union fully visible and active on all college campuses?
I would But I'd like to start off saying that Gossanen isn't the main campus, and I haven't seen anyone from Jubilee because I don't think Jubilee has the ability to know what's going on in other campuses. I feel like it's been cut off. I feel like no advertisement, none of the things like my candidate said. There should be more advertisements, like an ad going around our college social media saying that we're going to have a student union coming up and all that. I would like to make it so if I was elected, I would spend more time in one campus at 1 week and then like spread it out like that. Like for example, all of student union presidents is based in Gossanen. I would like to make it so it's based in other campuses. For example, Gossanen could be 1 week, then Taikok could be another week, where all the union presidents would go and do their work there instead of 1 week, as it would change the atmosphere. Like I've been saying, the workplace, everything will make it more fun instead of staying in one place and staying in an office, which isn't fun.
Lovely, thank you very much, Sonny. Thank you. And that, everybody, is that. So can I just ask those that are still in the room, can you just put your hands together for the candidates? Because fair play to you, I'm sat here reading off of this, and I've gone red and nervous, so I don't even know how you feel all being stood up there in front of your peers and in front of everybody here. So again, well done, massive well done. Should be really proud of yourselves. Yeah, go on. So just for everybody that's still on YouTube, or if you guys want to watch it back on YouTube, you can. For all those that are in the room, voting now opens on 8th. I know it's bank holiday, but it'll open at 8 o'clock in the morning on the 8th. All of the links can be found on our Instagram page, so it's at GCS_LE. We're going to be talking with the main college account as well, so hopefully everything will be posted on there. So the voting, it runs from Monday to Thursday, so it'll close at 5 o'clock on Thursday, so that's the 11th of May. And then the winner will be announced then on the 12th of May. Okay, so keep up to date with everything on our socials. We'll also put out short little clippets of this, so we'll make this into a video to add some short clippets that will go out on YouTube and social media as well. So one last time, if we just put our hands together, and thank you very much.